right, so the Cubs are now 2-2 after their first U.S.-based series. I realize they're 2-4 overall in the division with the 2 games of the Dodgers, but this series against Arizona, we split the series overall as a Cubs fan. If you'd have told me we'd have split the series going into it, then I probably would have been pretty ecstatic. Tough team. Diamondbacks are a playoff team. They're going to be a playoff contender, no doubt about it. And but Cubs had a chance to win 3-4. We dropped the ball on Game 4, but we'll get into that in a second. Want to go over some of the starting pitching, bullpen, of course the bullpen, the thing that's letting us all down currently. Some of the offense and the next series with the A's. The first 4 games of the series we're in Arizona. Game 1 we win 10-6. Offense shows up. Offense wins that game. I think we have all but one of our runs with 2 outs. Amaya comes up huge. That was a huge spotlight. PCA makes a huge play at offensive play at second base, beating out a throw to allow Amaya to hit a bases clearing double. Amaya had 5 RBIs that game. That's huge. So Cubs go in Game 1 into Arizona, take the U.S. opener from the Diamondbacks, and all Cubs fans are pretty excited about what they saw, because even Steele in Game 1 was back to Steele performance, not like the performance in Japan with the Dodgers. But so Cubs are up 1-0 in the series. Game 2, Tyon lets us down. Offense struggles. I think we only got a couple hits, not many runners on, and Tyon kind of dropped the ball and did not look sharp at all. So hopefully his second start, kind of not going to hold that against him yet, because it's a long season, but we lost 1-8. Series tied 1-1. Third game, Imanaga comes out, does what Imanaga does, shuts down Arizona. We go into the 8th and 9th, up 4-1. Poor Hodge has a really rocky 8th, but gives up no runs. Then Mr. Presley, now known as Stressley, and I'm gonna start owning that and calling that as well, because man, you're supposed to be the closer. Yeah, it's a bend don't break situation where you've got 2 runs to play with to still get the W, but he didn't look very clean and gave up a couple runs. Cubs ended up, and actually, thank you to Dansby Swanson saving Presley's butt, because he made that high IQ defensive play, caught the runner off at third, and got that walk-off out. Nothing Presley did to help that third out, but thanks to Swanson for getting that last out. The Cubs got a 4-3 W, wins a win. We're up 2-1 in the series, and then Game 4 comes. Game 4, we have a shot, right? We're up 6-2 going into, I believe, 6-2 going into the 8th inning. Boyd pitches his butt off. Gave up 0 runs. I don't think that was expected from him. Pitched a great game. Our offense lit up. We had Tucker, Swanson, and Seiya all hitting home runs. Tucker had that 3-run huge blast to get us to 6 runs, and so up by six outs to go, up by 4 runs. Everybody's thinking we got this in the bag. If somebody comes in and struggles, next man up. But no, Cubs do what the Cubs do. The bullpen right now just sucks. It's unreliable. It feels like the last year, maybe 2 years actually, where offense can generate, starting pitching's there to keep us in games, and then we have to turn over the bullpen. I feel like now, if we're not up by 10 runs, our bullpen is going to give up the game. Who do you trust? I don't trust anybody. We had Thielbar, Pearson, Morgan. Ray came in for a couple outs. Let me pull up something I was just looking at. Check this out. All right. So 4th game, right? 8th and 9th inning. This is how many batters each pitcher faced and how many runs they gave up. Pearson, 9 batters, 2 runs. Thielbar, 5 batters, 2 runs. Morgan, 8 batters, 6 runs. One of those was an intentional walk. Let's see. Missed my spot. Ray, 2 batters, no runs, of course. And then, of course, Boyd, 22 batters, 0 runs. All of those names, relievers. Boyd, the starter, 22 batters, 0 runs. Everybody else had single-digit batters and gave up 2 or more runs, not including Ray. But I didn't really care for how Ray looked either. And then the previous game before, the previous game before that, Porter, Hodge, and Presley all looked rough. Who's left? I mean, Merriweather was in the bullpen, but he apparently had some warm-ups, so maybe he wasn't even available for that series. But who else is left? I mean, as a Cubs fan, we got to sit here and look and go, cool, we have to score 10, 15 runs before the 7th, 8th, and 9th inning. Or we got to hope our starters go 7 or 8 innings, which doesn't really happen anymore, especially early in the season. Just to have some sort of faith that we might win a game. Our 4-3 win this week, the 10-6, even the 10 runs we scored, we still gave up 6 runs. So I'm really hoping that our bullpen is just having a shaky start and things will just get better. If not, shake something up. Morgan was left in for a long time, probably much longer than he should have been. I mean, it was only 8 batters, but 3-4 batters in, you knew the inning wasn't going to go well for him. Yank him. Go to the next guy. Either way, but so some positives of the series. That bullpen was definitely the most negative thing of the series. It was awful. We gave up, what was it? If my numbers were right, we gave up, the bullpen pitched 12 2/3 innings, gave up 24 hits, 9 walks, and 17 runs. 17 runs and 12 2/3. That's just our bullpen. That's not a winning bullpen. That's probably going to get us the worst bullpen in all of Major League Baseball. I'm sure we are currently. Maybe the Brewers right now because they got spanked and embarrassed by the Yankees. But if that's what our bullpen's going to do over the next few weeks, we're going to end up bottom of barrel and bottom of the NL Central and maybe the entire MLB. But some positives, okay? Offensive-wise, man, I mean, let me go back to our starting pitching, right? We had Steele the first game, Ty on the second game, Imanaga, Boyd. 3 of those 4 gave us a chance to win. 3 of those 4 pitched to their ability and were professional pitchers and against one of the toughest teams in the NL, the National League. Tyon, gonna give him a pass. Not all starters have to be perfect every outing. We'll see. We'll judge him over his next 2 or 3 and see if it's just kind of a oops or if he's got something to work on and we should give someone else a shot or start thinking about those opportunities. Boyd did great. Imanaga, Steele, excited to see their next starts. But starting pitching, not a problem. Super excited about that. Looking forward to the next outings. Ben Brown's going to start today against the A's, tonight, I guess. I'm on Eastern time, against the A's. And looking forward to Ben Brown, kind of showing us what he's got. So offensive-wise, man, we finally saw why we spent that money / those players on Kyle Tucker. Kyle Tucker started coming alive. He had 2 home runs, 2 big home runs in key moments. Got a few hits outside of it. Saya got a first home run. Swanson, Happ. Some of the key players, Amaya came up big during the series. Key players were going to produce all year long. Started out pretty strong. One thing I'd love to see, Nico's going to come along too. He did okay, got a few base hits, but is PCA. I think the Cubs, their season goes how PCA goes. And I mean on the offensive side, they're going to score runs. Don't get me wrong. He doesn't have to carry the offense, but I think we're going to start seeing that 7, 8, 9 runs or more in a game when PCA gets on base 2 or more times. And I feel like he should utilize the bunt. He should utilize the walk, um, and he should probably start working on. Someone's got to work on him with patience. I realize you got to let players play, and he's an aggressive swinger. He likes to swing early in the count. I know he doesn't like to get down. He loves hitting fastballs, but man, he works the count 3-1, 3-2, and gets a walk out of it. That is a double, and likely pitchers know that. Defenses know that. Work the count a little bit and see a little more fastballs. Someone's going to get you on the secondary pitches. It's just how things work. But man, force them to throw you fastballs, the things that you can handle. Because, I mean, they don't want to walk you. It's a double when you walk. Sometimes maybe even a triple when you walk. So I think the Cubs are going to go as, especially for bullpen struggles, how PCA goes. He gets on base 1 or 2 times a game. I think they're scoring 7, 8, 9 runs in those games because he's a threat. Less than 2 outs and he's on base. I'm willing to bet 80% of the time he scores. So offense did well. I'm happy with the offense. Hopefully that keeps up. You know, our next series is against the A's. We have an opportunity to, still we're 2-4, so we still have an opportunity to come out of this series with, above 500. That'd be sweeping. That's a lot to ask in a Major League Baseball game early on. However, very possible for the Cubs. We're going to see their 5th starter, and I think Ben Brown's better than most 5th starters in baseball. So what I'd like to see is that consistent hits and on base at minimum from the offense. You know, our superstars continuing to hit that, 280, 300 average. PCA getting on base. Our starters working efficiently, throwing strikes, keeping us in the game till that 6th, 7th. And then we have to see where our bullpen is. I think in general, over 3 games, we're going to see everything else be consistent. Defense has been solid too, by the way. Swanson's made some already spectacular plays, and we already know he's one of our, he's one of our all-stars and gold glovers. But we have a number of gold glovers in the field, so the defense is expected to do well. But bullpen doesn't challenge the offense, the opposition, and we don't throw strikes or don't just leave strikes out over the plate for them to mash, then defense doesn't matter. But the ball goes over the fence, you can't really defend that. Ball hits the wall, can't really defend that. Ball hits a gap, can't really defend that. So force some weak contact, force some awkward swings, keep the offense off balanced. That's our bullpen's job. Bend, don't break. They're allowed to give up runs. It's baseball. You're going to give up runs. But ERAs of 10, 15, 17 after 6 games, it's going to happen because of small sample size. But it's happened in a really ugly way so far. So I'm looking forward to the A's series, so maybe our bullpen can, make up for what they've done so far. But, ultimately a Cubs fan, hoping for a 2 or 3 wins out of the A's and kickstart the next series. We have a tough April. Pull up a schedule because I had it right here. But we have a tough April. So we have the A's away, then San Diego and Texas at home for 3 game series. Those 6 games, I'd love to come out of that 500, but it'd be nice to win 2 of 3 or 3 of 3 from the A's before we go into those, so we can keep that right around or maybe potentially right above that 500 mark. Halfway through, almost halfway through our games in April. Because then we've got the Dodgers away, San Diego away, Arizona comes to us now, then at home, then the Dodgers again, then Philadelphia, then Pittsburgh. No relief whatsoever. We have a couple days off between all those games, but no relief whatsoever. We all know that in April. Kind of tones down a little bit in May, of course, but starting out as strong as we can, we got to get that bullpen. If our bullpen looks like they did the last couple games, we have no chance in April. No chance. And if we can't let them go that whole month and giving up, over 12 innings, 17 runs, 24 hits. That can't. More runs than innings can't happen in the month of April. Otherwise, we'll be hurting. But offense is doing great. Love Tucker. Love the addition of Tucker. Everybody seems healthy. And just looking forward to the next series and the A's series. Looking forward to celebrating tonight, late tonight, and then hopefully the next couple days as well. But all in all, 2-2, an Arizona split. I think every Cubs fan would have said, sign me up for that. Some crappy things came along with it, but a lot of positives as well. So looking forward to the A's tonight, and I will do a recap of the A's series after the next 3 days. Otherwise, go Cubs go. Let's fly that W.